Oh, hey everyone, I'm Chris Collected. I'm an artist based out of Phoenix, Arizona, and I make all kinds of cool dope shit. So subscribe to my OnlyFans, subscribe to my YouTube, my Twitch, and all kinds of fun stuff. Alrighty then. But hey everyone, look at my cool new headphones. Aren't they cute? Aren't they cool? Aren't they cool? So, I got new headphones today. They finally came in, so I'm excited about that. Tell me in the comments below how I sound to you. We're working on it, making sure the sound sounds as good as possible, as well as me looking good as possible. Hey! Don't look down here. We will be covering this in a minute, but I wanted to say, hey, thank you so much. I got 2 new subscribers this week in my YouTube. And if you also want to subscribe to my YouTube, you're more than welcome to do that. And if you want to see this, then you can go on my Twitter. And if you subscribe to my YouTube and you tell me on Twitter, I will send you a video of this guy. Okay? I just wanted to say that in the beginning there for anyone watching. If you want to be part of that, all you gotta do is hit me up on Twitter after you subscribe to my YouTube, and I'll check for you. You can send me a screenshot, or I'll just check my numbers, make sure it goes up by 1. And hey, I'll send that video off to you, okay? If not, if that's not your thing, and you're just like, hey, I don't need that, then awesome. Thank you so much for subscribing either way. You know, I'm trying to set a new standard for not being ashamed of the human body. I might have a little pudge, I might have the biggest or smallest thing down there, who cares, right? It really doesn't matter what you look like, it matters what's in here, and matters what's in there, okay? That's really what matters at the end of the day. Everything else can be handled, you know what I mean? It's not a big deal. Your body is what it is. You can start working out if you don't like it, or you can, you know, do whatever you want, you know? Eat some more sandwiches for all I give a shit. Like, it doesn't really matter. We're not here to shame bodies. We're here to play with bodies. But yeah, everyone. Hey, how y'all doing? Put that there. How y'all doing? Up some. There we go. So, hey, I'm Chris Collected, and today we are going to go over my newest project, which is this guy right here. Let me get him situated as well. There we go. Maybe I can do like, okay, sweet, that'll work. I turned it a little bit like, there we go, I think that'll be even better. Alright, so what we're going to be doing today is going over this guy right here. Now this is my brand new project, and what this is I call them Thick Boy coasters. So the back of them will have a nice felt back to them, which considering I'm gonna try a range, like, so this first batch I'm making is all gonna be out of this blue fabric. And once that's done, I have 2 stems of this, which this whole thing right here is called skin, or sten, however you wanna call it. S-K-E-I-N. I'm sure someone who's German or something like that could be able to pronounce that properly, but I am not that person. So this is, I've already used one of them up, and I made this, and I made a bunch of them. I hit the freaking camera. All right, sorry, my bad. But I've made a few of them, and I even made some in other colors, because I'm really loving this. I truly am. I think it's like something that's going to be a big part of my business going forward, is making these punch needle little mini rugs. And what's nice about them is they are much, much thicker than any competitor. So this is your normal, like, one. This one's from Bethesda Studios. This is from Fallout. All right, so the Vault-Tec one. Look at the difference between the 2. Okay. Let's see, get it perfect there. Yeah. So you can see mine literally. Look how much thicker that is. So I mean, it's 2-3 times thicker, and this is still soft and just as malleable as that product. Okay. I mean, you could fold it in half just like you can this thing, right? So it's just as good as that product, but I think much better looking, because it's like this nice little mini rug that you get. And I can make them however. You know, I'm going to make a line of queer ones. I'm going to make a line of ones that have like dicks on them or like stuff like that. And then I want to make a line of, family-friendly ones too, so I can sell them at conventions. Like, these are the family, that's why I started with this. These are like the family-friendly ones, right? The basic ones. And this one's like for your mom or something like that, right? Like, a nice light, what they call it, lilac. And then that's a lavender. And then this one's like a lighter blue. Very light, like sky blue, lavender, like lilac-ish. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to go over this and the pricing of it and everything like that. And then this first batch, I'm going to exclusively for the next 30 days sell these on a thing called Stimulus. And so Stimulus is a website which I want you to go to. So if I share, cancel, share screen, entire screen, window. Oh, that's new. Whee! Oh, hold on one second. I want to move this whole thing over there, and then I move that up. Let's see, it's the wrong display. Okay. Wrong one. My bad. I was trying to show you my Stimulus referral, but that's all right. I'll figure that out another day and get that posted and everything. Because I thought I had done it before, but I think my orders, I've been messing with my order recently of like how everything is looking. We'll stop the share, and then I can go back to having this up front. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to be making one of these from start to finish. This is what a finished product looks like. Okay, and so let's start. And also, as I said, I will be selling these exclusively on Stimulus for the next 30 days. They will be $25, including shipping for the first one. If you want to buy two, it is $45. So I'll save you $5 in shipping there. So what we do is we start with this guy right here. And then we'll talk about the pricing as we go, because 25 is kind of my bare minimum for this product. I would like to sell it for like 50 to 75, really. But we'll see. We'll talk about pricing, Maybe this first batch will be 25, and then I'll keep going up as I get better as well. Because we're going to talk about, the glue and all kinds of things, and maybe I can do it better, different. I'm going to try different things. Because I did buy some carpet glue and other things too. So we'll talk about it in a second. Anyways, as I was saying, this is what we start with. So this is monk cloth. This is a very easy to use fabric. And what's unique about it is it's very loose. So I can literally stick my finger through this fabric. See that? You can literally stick your finger through this fabric. That's how easy this fabric is to use. And then what's crazy about it is, go like that a little bit, and boom, it's back, right? And so what that does is it enables this device right here, which is called a punch needle, to go through that fabric, no problem. But then what you'll notice is, you see it's actually, if you look there, it's leaving a little bit there. So now you have this loop on the other side. Now, if you keep going, you'll pull it right on out, because again, it is very loose. But if you do it right, usually these are tight, it'll be easier. You actually will leave the loop. You actually will leave the loop there. I don't know, let's turn it, there you go. So you'll leave the loop there and you keep on going. And then that way, you can keep going. And eventually, once you are finished the whole thing, you have this. And so this is what the back of one of these looks like. Okay? So once you have one of these done, then we will glue it. It will then look similar to this. And so I've actually glued this all. I glued it once, then cut all of these pieces, which we'll do that to this one today. I'll show you how to do it. Then glued all that again, then let this dry. Then once I did that, I then took that piece that's nice and like, see, nice and tight. At this point, it's essentially, you could call it done if you really wanted. You can notice it's a little different looking. And so next I'm gonna put it on a sheet like this, glue it again down. So now we have this thing, stuck on there permanently, all right? Then I cut that out and we have our finished product. Boom, there you go. And then what we're gonna do is, you noticed, this and this don't look the same. You see how that's thick and that's been like, look at the shininess of it. See how like dark that is versus the loops here. We'll get it real close for you. See that? And so what I've done is I've shaved this. And I did that in a previous video. In fact, I've pretty much done all of this in previous videos, but I didn't have the product at the time. I was just talking about punch needling. I wasn't really being like, hey, this is a product I'm going to eventually sell. So now I wanted to go back through it as of, hey, this is what I do just to make one of these products. Do you think I can charge more than 25 for it? Because I would love 45 for them. Really, honestly, I would love 45 for them. But we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? Because I think this first batch I'm going to do for 25. If they don't even sell, we'll maybe that's the end of that product. So we'll talk about it and keep going, right? Because I say, it's the house of improvements, right? We don't always have to be right on the first try. We'll just keep pushing and pushing. Okay? And so once you have it done like this, and then I cut that out, then I shave it, and then it's fully done. And I've been thinking about signing it, or I have a stamp. And so I've been thinking about stamping them or something like that too. Might be another like step. But yeah, so you're talking, half a dozen steps here, plus each one taking anywhere from 2 minutes to like, a minute to cut something like this out takes a minute. That's all it takes, right? Whereas shaving takes about 5 minutes. Gluing it is a day, because the glue, this is Elmer's glue, it takes like a day to dry, right? I do it under compression. So I have like a bunch of books, and I actually put the whole thing under compression like that. It makes it, if you look at, let's see, like this one and this one, it's like you can kind of see this one. You can kind of see the difference. See, this one, it's like a little bit looser, whereas this one, you can see it's kind of like matted down a little bit because I've been compressing them. And so that, I feel, makes a higher quality product, in my opinion. So we're going to go through and make one today, okay? 1 second. And as a bonus, if you do buy one off my stimulus, one person will get this one for free. So if you order one, you will get one of these. Maybe one of you, this is like the chase, because if you do collectibles and stuff like that, like I do, there are a lot of people that have chases. And so like, you have one unique colorway or something like that. And so this one is a unique colorway of this, right? This is the only one I've made of it. And this is just done out of a different fabric or a different yarn, whatever you call it. You notice I'm not so strict on words like that. If you end up saying a word wrong, something like that, no, I don't care. I'm not one of those basic ass bitches. But yeah, so you have your yarn, and you can see I've tried to match. Sometimes I'll try to like match the blue to this. I bought this whole all these sheets for $1 at like a used thrift store type thing. I wish they had like 3 packs. I wish I had bought all 3, but I was like, I'll just buy one. I don't know if I'm going to use them all. And then I found out, I was like, I use all of these things, and it can only fit, unfortunately, like 4 to 5. It fits like 5 on there. Because you do like 1, 2, 3, boom, boom. But see, you put it there, and then this third one, and it kind of like hangs. It'll hang off if you do the third one. So you kind of end up going like there with it. But again, for $1 this sheet was, it's totally worth it. And you can see here, if I don't do it perfectly, then you end up with little stragglers here and there. And so I don't guarantee perfection by any means, but they are definitely usable. I've been using one myself. For over 4 months now. See, I used to use a black back as well, and I've never had no problems personally. I think they're awesome. I love them. And they are, see, look, that is nice and dense. I make a nice dense product, which you can see physically. Where'd my little guy go? There he is. You can see that physically, right? So I make a nice dense product, but you can see there's still some little black or brown you can see. And if you're curious, why is this one brown? Why is that one white? Why is, I buy a lot of upcycling goods. And so I found this at a thrift store. This fabric normally costs about $20 for 3 yards. This cost like $5 for 3 yards. And again, if you find it in the wild, go for it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things you can only get them when you can get them. And they don't make this fabric anymore. They make them in just the white anymore because there was no point of making this color. Like at one point they were like, oh yeah, that way you can leave it blank and that can be your desert or something. And it's like, or you can just use brown thread, right? You can use brown yarn, whatever you want to call it, right? So you can just do that instead and make a more consistent project. And so people kind of just got away from having these blank spots. Not as popular as it once, I guess the manufacturer thought it might be. But yeah, so that's all the steps, everything like that. We're gonna take this, turn it into this, and charge money for it. You know, the American dream, right? So, let's go ahead and get this moving. Also, in the comments, please tell me if my audio is too high, too low, my voice is too high, too low, all that kind of stuff, okay? Like, I appreciate that kindly. Alrighty, so, because I am working on, I don't know if you noticed 1 second there, but my, one of my things at the top says like, why is microphone so quiet? Because it's like, I just looked it up and I was like, I don't know why this is so quiet. But yeah, so, as you can see, I have my new microphone here too. Ooh, ready? Are you ready? Spear fingers! You know I love that. But yeah, let's get this freaking show on the road, y'all. All right, so a couple of things about punch needling. One, you need yarn. Now, yarn is done in, yeah, see, I bought this one for $5.50 from a place called Bookman's. And this was brand new, $5.50. That's not a bad price for this. It's Red Heart with Love, and then the kind is called Peacock. And yes, I did get it for that reason. I was like, that's funny. And then this is a number 4. Oh, go there. This is a number 4. So, isn't that cool? And there's no dye lot, nothing like that, so I just kind of bought what was available. But again, I bought these used, so there was 2 of them there. Someone probably had a project that they thought they were going to do and then never did. And so suddenly, or maybe they did the project and finished it. And what I personally think this is one of the coolest looking colors. I mean, it's so dark, and especially in person, like my colors, I can tell are off on my cell phone, because this is a cell phone you're looking at. And it's like, I can tell my colors are off on it because it's so much darker than that. Because like, that's also like a teal, like even brighter, right? So it's like, my contrast is definitely off. But all right, I digress. I mean, it's not like I have, we got time, so no problem either way, huh? But yeah, so let's get started. Oh yeah, I should explain. So I take this thing, right? And then we're gonna put it onto any kind of object you want that is an embroidery hoop of any kind, really. You can make square ones, rectangle ones, triangle ones. I mean, there's an infinite number of shapes and sizes and everything. This one happens to be my personal favorite. I like it because of this thing right here. It is the wheel to like close it, and I like that it's a big wheel. A lot of them are really tiny, and it's like, who is that made for? Like literally they'll say, oh, you need a wrench to do that. I'm like, that seems like shitty design. So this one, I like that it's also this huge handle here. So when I'm doing it, I have a grip to hold on to, and then plus I can do that pretty easily. And what you want is, if it has to be able to be drum tight like that. If you can't, boom, 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 out of it, then you need to just, what you do is you just pull, 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 and then tighten, tighten, pull, 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 tighten, tighten, and you just keep doing that, until you really can't tighten it no more. And then you start looking through it, and you can kind of see there, look how many holes there are, see that? And then look at that, they're even holes. So it's a straight line all the way through, straight line. And if you're like, oh, actually it's a little crooked, then you can pull on that side or pull what you need to try to make it, again, to be straight lines and even holes all the way through. You can see you get on like the white there, you can see like all that. See what I'm saying? So that's what you need to begin with. And I have other videos on the basics of punch needling. And so if you do need more research on that or anything like that, and I'm gonna try to cut this video down into like a small instructional video too, which is a part of the reason why I wanted to redo it. So let's begin. I try to be so smooth, and I'm not. All right, let's try that again. Take 2, huh? All right, let's begin. So we're going to take our punch needle and poke it through, and then you're going to grab the thread from the other side. And then you see it's kind of a long one, so do it to about 1 inch. That's all you really need it to be. Then take it out, and you want it to glide along the top. I'm never coming off of this thing right here. See that? And then on the other side, you can see that we've started to make loops. Okay? Now, the proper construction for one of these is 2 loops all the way around. So let's go ahead and do that. It's also why I've kind of got badass music today, because, you know, I know this one's going to be kind of boring, but it's like I wanted to show you guys the level of effort that I'm going through for the products that I'm making. That way you have a better understanding of what you're buying. Because you're not just buying a product, you're buying a handmade product. And also you can see all the way down, all the way down, all the way. If you don't, the loop will be that size, because the needle is actually determining how big the loop is. See that? And then this, the yarn itself, needs to be very loose. No resistance whatsoever. If you have any resistance at all, this will lose, the yarn will win. Meaning you won't actually put a loop in, you'll just be punching nothing. And you know, that's not gonna make you a coaster. And so if you do feel ultimately that, yeah, you can do just as good of a job than me, I bought all of this stuff used besides the actual punch needle and this were the only 2 pieces. And I bought this from Joann's. This is an Oxford punch needle. This is the Oxford on it. So it's the Oxford punch needle, and it's a, I don't know, it didn't have this. Oh, there you go. It's an 8. You can see it right there. It's like right there at the top, right there. It's 8. So it's a measurement of 8. I honestly couldn't tell you. That's a gauge, is what that is, and I legitimately couldn't tell you what that means. I mean, I know that like each one is a different level, like in the sense of one's gonna be 1/2 inch, one's gonna be 1/4 inch, and it's like that part I know, but which one it does which, I couldn't tell you. You know what I mean? As I said, 2 of them, and you want to do these ones kind of tight. And then one of the main tricks for punch needling is you do what's called the brick method. And so if you see like this loop and that loop and everything like that, they're actually like in the middle of the other loop. It will be easier in a minute to see, because these ones are so small, it's kind of hard to tell. And literally, I mean, all you're doing is picking it up, scooting it along, finding the middle of the previous one, and punch down. Find the middle of that previous one, and punch down. Up, scoot it along, punch it down in the middle of the next one. Pick it up, scoot it, punch it. Pick it up, scoot it, punch it. Pick it up, scoot it, punch it. I mean, it's just over and over. And it takes me about an hour to make one of these. Doing it with instructions might take even longer. But that's fine. I was planning on doing a 2-hour stream today, just to kind of give you a heads up of what I was thinking. I was doing like a 2-hour stream. because I'm gonna do one of these and then I'm gonna take you guys through the whole process. As you can see, I have all the pieces here too. So once I'm done this, then we're gonna glue that other one I showed you earlier. Then we're going to cut out this one, the other one, and so I can keep showing you all the steps needed. As much as I can. I think I accidentally made one yesterday and I was like, whoops, I think that was one of my demo pieces. But so like one of the things, like I'm in factory mode right now of like, get stuff made, make. And so I saw a thing and I was like, oh, I gotta get it done. And so as I said, yeah, you gotta keep this loose. Keep it real loose. There we go, get these, let me get these out of the way there. I know what some of you are watching for. And when I'm doing the spin around, you notice I'm not really putting it in one place. I like always having it like 45 degrees from my body, basically. And so as I'm going, I'm just gonna keep turning this around, the actual frame around, and keeping my hand, you notice, essentially in the same spot the whole time. And if I get too far away, then I just move it back. I find that way it's easier on my hands and easier on my eyes. Also, if you get something like this, don't be afraid of it, okay? Just pull gently. Because inside, because if you notice, I am pulling from the straight middle of this, okay? And that's where you go. There was another one on the on the outside. That is the wrong one to do. You want to find the one in the middle and pull that one. Because remember, this is a giant continuous thing, so there has to be a beginning and an end. And really, this one is actually the end. The outside piece is the end. The inner piece is the inside, is the correct one, starting point. And that just makes it easier to pull, because think about it this way, you're pulling from inside, you're pulling from the loops already in there. Whereas this, you have to keep spinning the whole thing to do it. And it's really annoying. Plus, this way you can keep the outside, keep that plastic on it. And that way, like in 6 months, if I'm like, oh, I went back to this project, what was that color? And it's like, boom, you still have the name on it. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, I end up doing like a yarn library, which is like you take photo of this, you take a photo of the product, how it looks when it's done, and then that way, if I ever like, someone's like, hey man, in 2 years, can I get one of them blue ones? I'm like, let me look up Red Heart Peacock, and I can go buy more. Or you could buy some, right? If you want some. Because I mean, I'm kind of the opposite of Coca-Cola. I'm going to show you the formula. Day in and day out, I'm going to keep showing you that formula. I'm like the opposite of them, you know? Not hiding nothing. And how I do my punch needling is I want to keep about 1 inch here to be really tight. Like I said, technically the 2 rows, like at this point you could stop and you could start going anywheres and it'd be fine. Like ultimately it'd look good. But I like doing like an inch band, because then this part right here becomes really, really dense. And it's like the inner part is a little looser, but the outer part is super, super dense. And that way you get like, you know, a hard, for you put your drink down on it, because there's coasters, right? Drink coasters. And so that way this part is tough, and it will hopefully make it so it doesn't fall off as much. Because any coaster, I mean, you drink can fall off of, right? But it's like, these ones, I find they work really well. I've personally never had anything fall. I mean, obviously, you knock it, you know what I mean? This is not Miracle Worker, you know? It's like, it's still, you know, it still exists in the real world, right? But it looks hella cool. And honestly, to me, I think what's cool about them is they look adult. They look like this is something that, you know, an HGTV person would buy and put in their homes. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it screams adult. And like these ones kind of scream male to me personally, but like, you know, it is what it is. you identify however the hell you want. I don't care. Especially because I'm gender neutral anyway, so I don't give a fuck. Music provided by the White Bat Audio. Copyright free music. So I feel that, you know, it's always good to promote them, you know what I mean? Or I'm not paid, not sponsored, but, you know. One thing that I've noticed is if I go fast like I'm doing currently, you'll notice the fabric is like resisting more, because if you do it nice and slow, the fabric had time to move out of the way, right? So like when we were doing that example earlier and we are trying to go through the fabric, you notice I had to like push, then I could get in, right? If I just boom, 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 it won't go through, right? So it's like, you know, it is a patient thing. If you just, it will actually kind of be harder on yourself. So you end up finding like a rhythm of what's the exact right speed to punch, because you can go fast-ish, just not, you know, so fast. And this is, again, a handmade product, so it will have imperfections in it. It can have problems and flaws. And you know what? Just like human beings, we accept people and things as they are. If you do feel that your thing is stretching too much, like I noticed this one is a cheaper, older fabric, so it just tends to stretch more. You can always try to go back and pull some more, which you can see there, it did pull a little bit more. And so that will kind of regain that tension. Otherwise, you can put this, not with any of the yarn in it, but you can put this in a dryer and it will shrink it. Or you can put it in a wash machine and dryer and it'll really shrink it up. And then put it in the dryer like again. And then that will help to shrink it up a little bit if you end up buying really cheap stuff, which I've done before, and it's totally usable. Like this one, actually, let's see. This one, the white one, that white fabric I bought for $3 a yard. So, I mean, it was cheap stuff, because the really high-end monk fabric is like $10 a yard. So it's like, and to be clear, this is not rug tufting, nor is this rug tuft, like this is a punch needle, not a rug tufting gun. I will on Thursday be showing off a rug tufting. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I'm getting a little better at it myself, getting everything set up. And so that way I'll be good for you guys, you know? So I'll do one more live demo of this thing first, you know? And as I said, these will start going on sale literally today. They will go on sale. The 1/17/23. I will be putting them on sale, and then at the end of February, so one month from now, because February is a short month anyways, right? So I was like, oh, I'll do a week early, so that way I'll get the full like 4 weeks out of it. And if I don't sell any, well, you know, maybe I'll put them on Instagram or something else, or they won't even be on the website or anything. I think I'm just gonna sell it straight up through Stimulus only. And Stimulus, if you don't know, is a website that is trying to support small designers. It is actually owned by the guy who owns Sticker Mule. And Sticker Mule is a company that sells stickers to like small companies. So like, for instance, if I need 50 stickers, I can buy it from them, stuff like that. Whereas some companies, you know, you need 1,000. If you order it from China or something like that, you might need 10,000 stickers, right? So it's like, that's not available for someone like me who's not making, you know, the money to be able to afford that. I can only afford $50 in stickers, not 5,000, right? And so it's a way for me to be able to promote myself and even do some giveaways of money. Not currently of items. Currently, you can only do money giveaways, starting at a minimum of $100. So, I mean, literally, there's no point for you not to be on Stimulus if you like money. If you like free money, go for it. Yeah? And all you gotta do is click a button. And what I liked about Stimulus's giveaways is that you know you're entered. You know, a lot of times on Instagram, it says like tag someone and do all this, and then you don't really know if you're actually in that giveaway or not. And then, you know, I've seen it before where like I did all the stuff and then I watched the guys live and I wasn't like, you know, he would show the like 30 people entered and I wouldn't be in it. And I've like even commented for like, dude, I know I tagged 2 people and liked your stuff. Like he was like, oh, I just didn't see you. I'm like, you know what I mean? So what I like about Stimulus is, you know, for a fact you're in it because you click a button that says like to enter this for $500 or like to enter or restim, which is their retweet or their like repost. They call it restim, or it will say like follow for that. And so it's like you only had a couple options to do. You don't have to worry about tagging people. They don't have it that sophisticated yet. And so it's like, you know, super, super easy to use. Go to my linktree.com/Chris Collected, and it's the top link on there. You will need a government ID to be able to use this app. This is like, they're trying to make it less bot heavy, less, you know, just really focusing on little dudes like me that are, you know, struggling to get a sale or two. And so I can promote myself daily on that app. For free, right? Where it's like something as Instagram where I can post as much as I want on there and, you know, get a lot of free ads that way. So now that I have my inch, I like an inch because you can see also here, you can see how like it looks the same all the way around. All right, so it's like it's nice, consistent looking. Now the inside of it, you can pretty much go nuts with these. And in fact, I had one. Where did it go? Here it is. So this one, I did my 1 inch, all right? And you can see what's happened is that inch goes around the side too. So if you make it really dense, it helps. I did overcut this one. So there were loops there, but I cut them because I shave it. And if I do it wrong, this is in what was happening. This was supposed to be a Christmas gift, and it kind of failed the quality check. And so unfortunately, I'm going to keep it, right? Because it's like it just failed the quality check. But you could see there are colors, little speck of color all throughout that. And so what I did is on the backside, I just like like I just did all that and then filled the rest in with this yellow. And so you could do stuff like that too, make a like, you know, a little like sprinkles, right? It's like that was the kind of the idea. Is I had made one that was all blue when I was all yellow, and then that one was supposed to be a mix of the two. I ended up redoing it into something different. That way I can still get that Christmas gift out. But yeah, at this point, what I like doing is I would always notice that one part of my circle is kind of screwed up because I'm just not perfect, right? So like you notice that this one is like really good, but then if you look here, it's like, it's a little bit, you can kind of see it there, it's a little crooked. So as we finish that one up, we'll start doing that one as straight lines. So now I've done this, and how you do that is this guy right here is your cursor, is your arrow, right? So as long as that's going, that is the front of it. Always, 100% of the time is the front of it. So no matter what direction you go, as long as that is the direction you're going to go. Like you could turn it 100 and 360, right? You can keep turning it, and it does not matter. I mean, you can get, you know, a little bit caught up there, but that's nothing, right? That's not a big deal. But, you know, once you do that, what you're going to do is you've gone to this line. That right there, you could see the line you've already made. And so you literally just do what we've been doing, put it back into the loop you just made. So you made like a loop, right? And then anytime you punch in the middle of the next one, okay? So I'm gonna punch here, I'm gonna punch here, I'm gonna punch here, I'm gonna punch here, and keep going, right? Well, if you're doing a V back like that, you go into here, and then now you punch here again. So normally it would be like bloop, 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 and this one you're just gonna go there and then kind of back to here. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And then you're just going back, same thing, making another row over the ones you just did. You know, again, not over top of them to be specific, like, you know, next to them. You always go into the next row. And then see, I'm just turning it back. And then I can keep going again in a straight line. And same thing here. I've turned it. I then hit that loop right in the middle of the previous loop. And you're just going, you know, one next to it. And then turn back. If you make it too close together, it would also be very hard to punch in. You notice that one was hard. And then, you know, feel free. Sometimes I'm just like, all right, that one's getting too long. I'm gonna go this way now. And so now I'm going this way. Once you do that, like 1/4 inch to an inch, everything inside of it, the rest of it, you know, just try to get a good density, but it's not, you know, there's no right or wrong there. It's okay. As long as it's dense enough to hold the object up, which it will be. And so at this point, you're basically just about trying to finish it up, right? It's like, all right, yeah, just let's get it going and finish. And then in general, I will like, you'll see my hands, I'm like pushing on it because if it is resisting me a bunch, I found if I push, actually like physically push on it and push it up, that will help separate those fibers even more, and that way even easier for me to get that freaking punch, especially because I use a chunky boy. Like, they make them much smaller, much smaller. And the other people, like my competitors, that's what they use. They use, like, this is an 8. They're using a 3 or 4. So literally half the pile height of mine, and, you know, the same density, which it just, to me, it doesn't look right. Like, it, because what it is they're not shaving it ever. They're keeping it as a loop. And it's like, okay, well, I could do that, but then I'm just doing what everyone else is doing, right? And it's like, I realized that I wanted to do something different, something better. And I'm a thick boy, you know? I mean, I got muscles, I got these thick thighs save lives, okay? Like, I mean, that boy, you can't even get him in frame, you know what I mean? Look at that sucker, he's barely in frame, he's so damn big, right? I mean, you know what I mean? That's working out every day and doing all that kind of stuff, right? So it's like, I got big old thighs. And so I'm a thick boy, 185 pounds, something like that. I mean, I'm not that lightweight. I'm not no twink no more, baby. No twink no more. I'm maybe in my 20s, but, you know, not no more. They call me daddy now, you know what I mean? But anyways, as I was saying, I don't even remember what to say. I stopped talking about being a daddy, you know. But yeah, as we're just finishing this up and getting it going, okay? All right. And then you can, if you find your stuff is too tight, you can reduce, meaning like I go here and I skip. And then I like, see there's one right here and one right here. If I want, I can skip it and just go there, and that will reduce your circle and reduce your density too, which is fine if you don't do it that often, or like say for instance, that one seems a little too small, so I'm just gonna skip it. And that happens more and more. The more you get inside the circle, the more you end up like skipping. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it as long as you're still keeping your density on the other side good. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to be able to go like that. You don't want to be able to go like this and see the fabric. You know what I mean? That's like, to me, the cardinal sin. Like, if you see your fabric through the other side, you need to punch some more into that spot. And I've done that before, where it's like, oh, this spot's a little bare. Maybe I was watching TV and like I kind of skipped a line, right? You can always just go back. There's nothing stopping you from taking this punch needle out and going over here and start punching if you had a problem. Also, you see this. So now I'm off the screen, right? I'm off the page, you could say, right? If you just pull, boom, you can go right back. Punch needling is honestly like one of the most forgiving art forms that I've ever seen. And I truly feel that like I have like a calling for this thing, man. Like, I fucking love punch needling. It's just like one of those things is you do something and it works. Like, this looks like I want it to look. It looks exactly like I want it to look, which in the art world can be difficult, right? It's like you're trying to make something and accomplish something, and then it doesn't always come out. And it's like punch needling, it's crazy. Every time I make it, it looks like, oh, I want it to make it. Hi, Debbie Doo. First time I've seen you in stream all year. Thank you so much. Like my new headphones? Aren't they cool? They're nice and they're super comfy, so I can finally have them on for a couple hours. It doesn't feel like I'm getting squished like a vice. We're going over my latest project. These are thick boy coasters. So these are nice thick coasters I'll be selling them exclusively on Stimulus for the next 30 days. Then I'll put them up my website after that, but I'm going to try to sell them exclusively on Stimulus for the next 30 days. Which I noticed you're not verified yet. So if you want to be able to post on there, you will have to use your government ID and like submit that to them, and that way they can make sure who you are, who you say you are. Plus, only if you really want to post on there. If you just want to look at stuff, I think you can use it without verifying. But you know, thank you. I like them a lot. How is my volume? My volume and everything? The music's not too loud, or my volume's not too low? Because this is also a brand new microphone and a brand new setup. I'm using XLR setup, so that means it's an analog setup. So you should hear the sounds of my voice. Like, you know, you can hear all the highs and the lows. Volume is great. Perfect. Yeah, I tried like 6 times today to like keep doing sample videos that like you guys won't see because they're only like 20 seconds long. And I was like, hey, hi, snap. And then I would like, you know, turn it off and see how it was. And I tried 15, I've pushed buttons for the last 45 minutes. I have pushed buttons on this XLR and all this setup to try to get some good volume going on. Because, you know, it's always been a toughie for me. I've watched like the last 2 or 3 streams and I was like, oh my God, I'm whispering in them. I was like, no wonder no one was watching them. I was like, I wouldn't watch me whisper either. So I finally found that in the Rode Podcaster itself, there's a bunch of settings that I can do, and that way I can boost my voice up. And then I found something that should also make it so I don't echo, because I was echoing in my own ear really badly. And I found something in Voicemeeter that made it so I don't echo. So I was like, oh, dude, I love this. So tell me if I sound echoey to you. Also, how did you like your subscriber giveaway? So every year I do a subscriber giveaway for the top commenter. So if you're watching this and you want to get some free stuff, Debbie Doo here got $50 in free merchandise at Christmas time. It was a tote bag and one of these and all kinds of like fun little like gifts that I made. And so hopefully you end up using your reversible tote bag there. Because a lot of companies are starting to charge for the plastic bags. And so this way you can say, no, I don't need to be charged 10 cents for your plastic bags. I have my own custom made one. And all I had to do was comment a bunch on, you know, on a profile, and boom, I got it for free. So I thank you very much for that. And I just sent umpties out today, because I was waiting until I got another sale. Oh, also, one thing to note. If I screw up like I just did, literally just pull it out. That's why I said it's so forgiving. Like, you could pull an entire line. I could pull this entire thing out if I needed, you know, and redo it. In fact, some of the fabric that I used the other day was from a project that I showed you guys like 6 months ago. Yeah, I mean, that's the music. It's tough. Music's always tough. You know, music's always tough in that sense, because I'm not in control of like I'm just doing mixes. You know what I mean? Like 2-hour-long mixes of music, and so I don't always know what the next song is. You know, I figured give it like 6 months, and I'll finally know the music. And I'll be like, oh, this one is good or bad. You know. But we're almost done here, and then we're going to show you the rest of the steps to make one of these. And then, as I said, launching literally today, I will be launching the first couple of these, putting like 2 of them up on sale, and then be putting some more up. And if you buy one, you have a chance to get a free second one. But they will be exclusively sold on Stimulus, the new social media app for small businesses, for the next 30 days. And this will be one of the last times you see me punch needle for a little while, because I'll be switching to rug tufting. And my unpaper towels. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I love the unpaper towels for like in a car or something like that too, because it's like, you know, they don't ever rot, and so you can kind of just leave them in there, and if you ever have a spill, something like that, then hey, you got a little microfiber cloth that's nice and cute, right? Or, you know, perfect for the kitchen or bathrooms. You know, so it looks decorative, but also still functional. And I got you a whole bunch of fabric bowls too, I think. I don't know if they're all in the RV already or not, huh? And then my schedule for Tuesdays and Thursdays will be 3 p.m. to roughly 5 p.m. to 4 to 5 p.m. depending on the day. And then Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays will be at 2 p.m. till 6 p.m., so 4 hours. Yep, different sizes, different patterns, different all kinds of stuff. I just kind of gave you a crapshoot of different ones that I had tried, maybe only made 1 or 2 of, and I was just like, that's what's cool about the subscriber giveaway, is you can get products that I never really intend to sell, like the tote bags and things like that. I don't really tend to sell them, but I made a dozen of them, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna throw them in bags, or I'm gonna throw them, you know what I mean? It's like if someone orders something, I always tell people like you get a couple freebies and stuff, and a lot of those freebies are the other stuff that I'm like, oh, this looked good, but yeah, I just, you know, it's going to be too hard to sell, or it's going to be, you know, I'm not going to make enough money on it, so like I'm just not going to sell it. And it's like, oh, also, well, I just finished, and one thing that I love doing is I love to run it off. So just kind of punch 1 or 2 more times extra, and then you hold your finger on it, and now you pull that, I mean, you pull as far as you want, but then what you're going to do is cut it right at the base here. Without don't pull that, because otherwise you're going to pull your thread out, which is why I ran it off, because it's like, even if you did pull, you'd pull one of your extra stitches, you wouldn't pull your center. So now we're going to open this up. And then what I've always noticed is, because I had these under really high tension, they tend to, if you look at it, they tend to curl up, right? And so what I do then is I actually start pulling on it, you know, in the opposite directions, just kind of pull on it, and then just kind of pull all the way around it too. Yeah, exactly. And they charge you for their paper bags. They charged you 10 cents per paper bag, right? Because it's Wegmans. They charge paper too. So it's like that way I just saved you 10 cents every time. All you had to do was comment. I mean, I saved you, you know, could have saved you $1 all year. All you had to do was type out stuff. And I probably will sell some of those tote bags. That was just like a prototype of like, how am I going to make them? Because I wanted to make reversible ones, but I was like, are they going to be, you know, how hard are they to make and stuff like that. So I'm happy that they're working out for you. But yeah, so now we have this, and so what I'm going to do is I just literally leave it alone for a day and just let it kind of, you know, put it on a flat surface, sometimes put a book or something on top of it, and that way will, boom, you know, you kind of flatten it out. And I like to stretch it even when I lay it down. Just kind of stretch it so nice, you know, it starts to lay flat. Then once it's done that for a day, you can see this one. See, it's the same thing, same exact thing. And you notice it's not really curling like the other one is. All right, so what we're going to do now, this is Glue All. This is not regular school Elmer's glue. If you ever look up like school Elmer's glue, it's different. This is Glue All. It's basically the same stuff, just extra strong. So you just take that and you pour it on. Or if you're like me, it's, you know, you're stuck there. But you know, do a nice thick thing of all this white substance. Go nice and thick. And then I take any kind of playing card or anything that you have, spare in your house. So for instance, for me, I use business cards. So this was a business card, Bonkers for beanies. They just gave me their business card. I bought, there's actually, if you ever look, it's covered up right now, but I have Ditto is wearing like a crocheted hat. This was the company that made that hat. And so literally, you can see here, like I've used it a bunch, right? There's like fabric all over it, or fibers. And so yeah, you just literally spread it. Get that white stuff everywhere. And there you go. Now it's ready. Now it's, essentially ready for the next step, which is just to wait a day, let that dry. All right. And that's all you want to do there. And if you see any spots that like aren't really like having it perfect, that's actually okay, because you're going to end up gluing it twice anyway. So it's all good. So then now we just leave that for a day. Boom. Done. Right. So we've made one, then we glued it. Okay, now once it has been glued, we want to take it to this step right here. So what we did is, was that one? Where's the other one? I have another one. I think I just glued that one twice. Lol. But yeah, so as I was saying, you're going to take one of these, right? And what I did is, you could see I cut individually. And so hold on. This is actually the pair of scissors that I use. So this is a pair of shears, literally medical shears. You could see they're actually serrated. You can kind of see that. I don't know if let's get a good angle of it, but it's actually serrated. The top of it, here we go. You can see that. If I get it in there. But yeah, you can see, yeah, there you go. It's all serrated. And the bottom of it is not serrated. And so what this will do is it gets you a super clean line. And you literally just cut around the whole thing. Normally, as I said, I would let this dry. But I just wanted to show you a demo today. And then if it is too big, like you see how that piece is just too big, you want about 1.5 inches. So if it is bigger than 1.5 inches, take your shears and cut them. Now, you might be asking, why shears? All right, and the reason is very specific. So if you look at this one, because it's not serrated, you can actually see, like, let's see if I can get a good angle of it. You can see this is easier to tear apart. I don't know if I can, how easy it's going to tell. And then this one, if you look, is easier, just as easy to tear apart, but was not actually any way shredded. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, you have to kind of touch it and feel it to really understand what I'm talking about. But it's just like, I've gotten cleaner cuts out of it that don't shred on contact as much. So that way I can still go around the whole thing, and I find that it's giving me straight lines, like really straight cuts. I got this at a bin store in Virginia Beach. I got these in Virginia Beach for technically $2. So I got 2 of them for $4. So this whole thing right here cost me $2. I tell you, upcycling is a great way of going, So literally, I went to it's an Amazon return store is what it is. So they have new products every week because they're buying like pallets of stuff. And so they had like 20 of these in very different conditions, like that. And it was $4 that day. So I bought 2 packs. So I actually got 4 of them, 4 scissors for $8. I mean, you can't beat that deal. And it's serrated. And what I like about them also is you see there's this like bump to it. Right, and so that's the idea is when you go into like a skin or something, like let's say you want to cut. I mean, that's what these kind of things are for. Is like you had a medical band or something like that on you, and so if you notice, you have that thing there, so you wouldn't go into yourself. It's like a safety. Well, it also equally kind of works on this guy because I don't want to go too far into this, right? And so it actually, like, see, it literally, you have that like extra bit right there. And so when you're cutting, you can go as deep as you want and you don't have to worry about it, right? So it's like, I'm telling you, these are the scissors. Like, I know they're medical scissors, but it's like they are the scissors for punch needling. They really are. Then what we're going to do is take a little more of this glue all and put it around the whole thing. Okay, and then I kind of just like dot the whole thing. And then we're simply going to fold it in. And then I like gluing that one side down. So we glue it down, then we press the next one. Then we press the next one onto it. So we've glued one down. We've put more glue on top. Just like that, right? Then press it. Then do it again. And sometimes I'm just kind of like, I'm not really always squirting out more. A lot of times I'm just spreading what's already there. Because this glue will penetrate. This is a glue that will go down. You know, when you look at something like this, you don't see any extra glue, right? Everything's clear, everything's flat, everything, you know, sunk in. So that's okay, you know? So like, you know, just kind of push it around so that way now it's, you know, a nice and full thing, right? Boom, press it in. And you can kind of start to see, you can see it's already, because I remember I did that nice thick band on the bottom. And so you can see it's all the way going. You want it to go like that all the way. And you just do that the whole way around. Oh. Hopefully I don't lose you guys. My internet there kind of kicked out. I don't know what happened there. Actually, I think I do know what happened. I think I have too many other things open. But yeah, see, you're just going around. And again, because what I like about it is because it's this Elmer's glue, it's super malleable at this point. So you can get that nice perfect circle that you're looking for by just doing that boom, boom, boom over and over again. Same thing, just whoop. And I like to have it overlap a little bit. That way it sinks down in and kind of merges those pieces together. So you end up with a nice base. And that's why I like doing it like an inch and a half, because you end up with like only like a 1 inch circle in the middle. You see what I'm saying? Whereas if say you did it only a 1/4 inch, something like that, you end up with a lot bigger. Which my first batch I did was that way. I was only doing like a 1/4 inch and it was just like not working as well. And see this last one, you just put stuff on both of them. And then go. And you don't have to worry about it fraying anymore because now it's all glued up, right? Then what we're going to do is there we go. Hold on a second. Okay. I think once it's permanent, no. I don't think it's washable anymore. But you know, it is washable in the terms of like right now, like the stuff that's on my hand is super washable. This is literally just Elmer's glue with double the amount of additives that they put in it to make it glue. So whatever, because I mean, obviously they're not putting horses in it anymore, you know what I mean? They're using a synthetic glue derivative. And so they literally are just taking the exact same bottle, exact same formula, and just cranking up a few additives and making it twice as strong. So it's exactly Elmer's glue. So all the properties of, you know, school Elmer's glue, you know, same thing as like, look, it's like, you know, peeling up off my hands so easily, right? Like it's just coming right off my hands there, you know, no problem. Right? I can make it sprinkle like what's that, Breakfast Club, right? That old movie, you know? And same thing is like if you do end up getting a little bit of glue on something, you can kind of rub it off. If you end up getting some on there, you're like, whoops. Or as you know, you can go take it to a little counter, you know what I mean, and wash it a little bit, and there you go. It will come right off. Or if you want, you can try. I haven't tried like a huge stress test of these, so it's like, well, you know, I figure we're gonna try that kind of stuff together. But yeah, so next step, you have it like this, and you just kind of put it on. This is literally a book. So this is soup, stews, rice, pastas. You know, it was a cookbook that I bought a long time ago. That's like an inch thick, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool, but I don't need it anymore, right? So I was just like, I just want a nice flat surface, hard flat surface. But an old book is perfect. And then what I'm doing is I'm actually pushing each of these kind of in. So like kind of scoop it, like that kind of motion, all right? And I often like press down while I'm doing it. While I'm doing it, I press down as well. And so that way you're just trying to tuck all of this stuff. You see how if I go like that, you see you can really barely see it. So maybe I should have tucked a tiny bit more right here. And so you can see as you're going through, you don't want to see any white at all. So you're like, oh, a little bit right there, right? A little bit right there. But that's not, not the end of the world. All right. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to take that side and scoop it all over. And that's why I kind of press down at the same time. And then if you notice, this right here is parchment paper. Because parchment paper, it's going to be fine. You can glue anything you glue to this, you can rip it right all off, and it's not gonna affect it at all. So make sure, wax paper or something like that will be a problem. I use parchment paper personally. And then just take some other stuff, like I just have books and other things, and I'm gonna press it on top of it and leave that for literally 24 hours. Then afterwards, we'll peel it off and it'll look exactly like this. As hard as a rock, right? I mean, it's nice and hard, nice and stiff, but still kind of flexible because we have all these cuts in it, right? So it's like it can still kind of flex. Then what we're going to do, once we have at that stage, we're going to end up doing this. And so I'm actually going to cut this one off real fast. And so that way I can use my little felt here. And so, you have a little piece of felt. And then we have some more glue all. I'm just using, the whole thing is constructed that way. And again, a nice thick bead to it. And then especially around the outside, I like to make sure I do that nice and thick. And there you go. And I will say this, I do parchment paper for the specific reason that this will kind of bleed through a little bit. And so it's ultimately fine. Like as long as you put it on nice, clean, a surface that you don't care about too much. Don't put it on your nice china, Like it will, during the gluing phase here, it will kind of mess up. And then I do like to turn it upside down, make sure you don't see anything, like any of the white stuff. And then put it under that same setup that we just had with the other one. This one, you know what I mean? We're just gonna put it right next to it and put it under those same books. And again, just wait 24 hours and there you go. And so that's what's cool about it is you can have one thing at step 1, one thing at step 2, one thing at step 3, and kind of be using the same devices to do it all. Okay, so once we've done that, we'll end up with this guy. And so all we're doing here is just trimming them. Which I find the best way to do that is from the top. Because it's okay if it's like a little bit of an overhang. I'd rather have it overhang than have it underhang and end up, you see a ton of that white. I don't want that. So I kind of just do it from the top and just cut around, And there you go. And then, I can kind of fix pieces on the underside now if I'm like, okay, that's not perfect. All right, that's not perfect. Okay, perfect. Now we have a really good circle. Boom. And then what the next step would be to shave it. And that way we'll get down into this and then we're done. And so that has been in about, 45 minutes for me to get from this to this, plus, 2 days and 45 minutes really in the real world. But, I showed you the steps. Got from the basic guy all the way to the most advanced guy, all right? And so all we would have to do is shave this one and end up just like this one, which I've shown you that in a previous video. I went downstairs and shaved a bunch of them, and so you could tell me, you know, you've seen that before. So if not, go back to that video. You know, it's another one that's called punch needling, like how to, and like how to shave or something like that. I forget. I gotta go back and name all my stuff back. I gotta go name all my stuff better, huh? But yeah, so that's what I wanted to do today, is show you that. A couple of additional things I wanted to say is, these will be exclusively sold on Stimulus. Go to linktree/Chris Collected in the link. This one, that one over there. Click that link. But linktree/Chris Collected, and it's the top link. It says Stimulus, and it says Chris Collected invites you to Stimulus. You have to verify with your ID to be able to post on it, because they're trying to reduce on bots. They want to eventually do like a bot-free social media, where it's all about small businesses promoting themselves and giving a bunch of giveaways. That way, someone like me can get more followers as long as I'm giving them $100, right? It's like one person gets $100, but hopefully I can get more sales at it. We'll see. Right now, I'm not doing any of the giveaways. My stuff's going to be purely sales to see if I can sell stuff. If I can't sell stuff, then the giveaways are kind of pointless, right? So it's like, well, we're testing that media out still. And they're in their infancy. They have less than 100,000 active followers. Meaning, I think they're less than 50,000 actually. Like, they don't have a lot of people on there. Like, I posted something and it had like 5 likes, and that was considered a lot of likes on that social media platform. So just know that if you want to get, like, you know, Instagram, everyone has millions and stuff like that. There are no people with 1 million followers on Stimulus. I think the most is like a couple thousand. Like, no one is that big, right? So that's why I do want to make a big push to try to be that guy. I want to be like the first guy with 100,000 or 1 million followers on Stimulus, because it's a new platform. So it's like, you will see me for the next 30 days really promoting it heavily to try to see if I can't make any money on it. And if not, then maybe I'll move on from it or check into it every once in a, every couple months, something like that. So, we'll see, you know what I mean? Because I'm a flexible guy. I'm all about improving and finding that formula that's going to make me money, but also make you happy and watchable, right? So it's like, there's that balance that we want to get to. That being said, for the next couple of months, we will be doing all rugs and punch needling for the next 4 months. I think it's 3 to 4 months, depending on how it goes. We'll be doing that, rugs and everything like that. Then we'll be doing resin crafting. So this is a light switch plate. And what I've done to it is put some purple into it, and then put these like flecks on it, these like sakuras, which is what they're called. They're called, cherry blossom flowers, however you want to call them. And so that's all in it. And, it's just, it's screw on. You can still screw it and everything. And it's, very hard. I'm sure I could snap it if I really wanted, but you can snap anything if you try hard enough, right? And so I'm still working on it. You can see, like, it's not perfect. Like, there was a little overflow there. This side was perfect. That one was great, but that one was not, right? So I'm still working on it. That's why we're doing this other stuff first, because I'm good at punch needling. So it's like, I'll start selling that more. And then see, here's another one. But you can see here, I actually screwed this one up. If you look and see if I can get a good angle on it, you can see, like, this side is much thicker. See, like how thin that is and look how thick that is. So these things are supposed to be self-leveling, but I moved it and it spilled some out. And so it leveled, but it leveled with it being less. And I didn't know what to do about that. I had to fix it. So I just got a crappy one. You know what I mean? Because you can see it, like, it's like damaged right there. Like, it's not complete. Same thing as I made another one, but this one literally has a hole in it. So you can see my finger there. Right there is literally like a hole I can put my little finger through, because it just was, the mold was really tight and it just didn't work well. And then I made some gummy bears. They worked pretty well, but the dye, like, I didn't put enough of the purple in it to really make it like dark. And so I made another batch, and these ones are the ones I just made. Look at this. Look at those ones. That is so much glitter that you literally cannot see through it. It is solid because of how much glitter is in it. You know it. And then what's cool about it is, I didn't know this, but I put 3 different types of glitter in this. There's three glitters in this sucker, okay? And so the heaviest one ended up sinking. And so only the tops of them have, you see it like how like blue those flecks are, and then look at the side, how gold it is, right? So it's like, you see anything, and then the underside, you can kind of see some of it too. So these are something I'm working on as well in roughly between April to like, May, June, July. I'll probably be doing a lot of just resin crafting, showing you guys custom stuff. The goal is eventually to make my own mold, which I have some, some naughty ideas for that and some not so naughty ideas for that. So we'll get into that eventually. But, I want to make some of my own resin molds. And so, working on that as well. But I wanted to start with stuff that yeah, exactly. Well, learning new techniques. This one, I noticed I did it a little bit wrong. I don't know if it's going to be a bit of pick up on it because it's just like a little cell phone cam, but it's like, it's not like, you see, this one is round and that one is not perfectly round. So it's like, if I tried to use this as a Lego right now, like it wouldn't fit properly because it's like, it looks like a dog or like a person and chewed it up is what it looks like. It's just like, I think there were little tiny air bubbles. So I got to learn, like there are shaker tables that you can buy that kind of like zzz, and like vibrate a little bit, and that kind of helps get air bubbles out. There's a couple other like techniques, like there's a heater that will work through this, pretty much the same thing. So, I'll work up to it, right? Because like this, I had the equipment for it. I knew it. Let me use it for the next 4 months, make money on it. Perfect. Then I can buy the table that I need, the heater that I need, stuff like that. So then I'll be perfect on this one, right? So it's all about, as I said before, keep going. You know what I mean? You don't have to be the Picasso of resin crafting a weekend. You don't have to be the best punch needler of all time a weekend. This is 6 months in for me, or about 6 months in, 4 months. I would say 4 months in for punch needling, and I finally have a product ready. It took me 4 months, right? So it's like, don't worry about getting done. Worry about if you like it or not, because I like this. This was, look how cute that's cute as shit, right? And it's like, and it's so random. I bet I could do even better. I could make it perfect. I could make it, so I'm gonna keep working on it. You know what I mean? But it inspired me, and so hopefully it inspires you. See, like this one, this is like a chase one. Like I made one with a little thing right in the face, and I wanted to see how it worked. And honestly, I don't like it because it's like you can't see his face anymore. So maybe I'll put it on his head or put it somewhere else, right? On his butt or something, you know what I mean? It'd be funny. So it's like, I could play with that and learn new things. So, we'll be doing this Tuesday, Thursday, every week for the next couple of months. And I'll tell you as we start to switch over and stuff like that. It won't just be random, but next couple of months, all of this, the other kit and stuff like that is set up downstairs. And, we'll be back downstairs for Tuesdays and Thursdays from now on. I just want to do one more up here, I have my brand new microphone, and I was like, I gotta use it one more time, because I have another one. This guy right here. This guy's also, actually, that's not the microphone. Technically, that's the receiver. This is the microphone. And so this guy right here is also a microphone. You can see it right there. That's actually the microphone right there. And then that's actually a receiver. So this is a transmitter, that's a receiver. So you buy 2 of these and you have one microphone. Yeah, his belly would be a good spot. That's what I'm saying, like, and have it be like, a Care Bear, right? Like, woohoo, right? That kind of thing, right? Or like Pillsbury Doughboy, like, woohoo, like that kind of, you know what I mean? So it's like, I could play with it wherever I want to put it. Maybe I have smaller ones. Maybe I'll put just some on his feet or just some on his hands, right? So it's like, I can really play with it, right? And so that's what's cool about it. And plus, what's interesting about these, I've been reading a lot into it, and it's like, you should always have something like this on hand that's really small, because you never will pour the perfect amount of resin. Even if you're like, oh, this project requires 6 ounces, I'm going to pour 6 ounces. You probably will end up with 6.2 or something, or 6.5, right? And so you end up with a little bit extra, and so you pour it into this sucker and you get a free gummy basically that goes with it. And so your customer can get a free little gummy bear, or or I could just have it as like, these are the 10 projects that I've done. This is the first project, that's the second project, and they're all being gummy bears, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, they always say in resin world, like, get something simple and small that you could just throw as a trash project, and I could fill up half of this bear and then come back to it and fill up another half of it, right? It's like, so you want something small that way. Or like these Legos are a good thing for that too. They're a little bit thicker, but it's like the same concept, where it's like, if you have a little bit extra resin, you can just throw that sucker in there. and you don't have to waste it at all. It's a zero waste product in that sense, right? Or at least reduce waste, because there's always a little bit left in the cup and that kind of stuff. But yeah, as I was saying, this is the other microphone I'll be using for going downstairs. If I hit 100 subscribers, I will pull this as a video, okay? But not until I get 100. If you get 100 subscribers, you get to see me pull the plastic. Ooh, you want to see it. It's always addicting for people. They want to see the plastic get pulled off, right? So I made sure to keep it on there. When I get 100 subscribers on my anything really, if the first time I get 100 on either OnlyFans or YouTube, we'll go and I'll pull it for you. No, not yet. I have 53 currently. I got 2 more this week, and so if you want to learn more about that, you can listen to the beginning of this stream about that. Okay, so now I've showed you all my cool little gadgets. I like how that has this little thing in it. I can store it in there, and that cute. But yeah, so we are launching one of our first products. It's going to be on Stimulus. It will be $25 for one, including shipping in the US, and $45 for 2. There will be a total for 10 of them for sale, because I've been able to make 10 of them. So there'll be 10 of these for sale. And then a few lucky people will get bonus gifts. So like this one is example, like as a bonus gift. So you order 1, even if you order 2, you end up with a 3rd one. You end up with a free one, right? And it's like, I can't guarantee it for all of them, but 2 or 3 will have a freebie in there. And of the others, I guarantee will still have like a free unpaper towel or free something else, you know what I mean? But you do have to order. This is not a giveaway. This is a freebie with purchase. So I wanted to make that clear. This is not like no scam here, you know what I mean? You do have to buy to be able to get it. That is the only way to get the freebie, like, or these kind of like limited edition ones. It's gonna be the only way to get them is with purchase, and you can get it lucky, because I mean that's part of the collecting world, is they have chases and probability and mystery boxes and stuff like that. And eventually I'll take a few of my extra designs and stuff like that, or like something like this that's kind of just like a little random. Just literally just the rest of some fabric thread that I had, and it's a little patch here and a little thing. I was like, oh, it's just cool, I was like, those will be thrown in as like a mystery box in probably March, April, when I'm finishing my rugs up, and I'll be like, hey guys, these are the rugs that aren't selling very well. I have 10 extra ones of this color or this thing, and so I'll put some mystery boxes together and end up with maybe a few of these type of thing that I'm learning and practicing, and you know what I mean? Or like, for instance, I just sent Umpty something today, and I sent him one of my Legos in it. So it's like, you get freebies as long as with purchase. Because I'm not going to be doing any more like giveaways, freebie giveaways, until I have at least 20 or 30 sales. Then I will be able to afford actually doing another freebie giveaway. But there will be the one at the end of the year still for commenting. So like, for instance, Debbie Doo here has definitely just entered herself into a contest. The top 5 at the end of the year will get another $50 in free stuff. Rugs and resin crafting, and then seasonal stuff, all kinds of stuff that we're making here. So that's really important. If you want to get in on the ground floor, get in and get all this awesome stuff, then you got to buy it. Or comment, or you know what I mean? So I have free options, I got paid options, I got all the options. So that way me and you can get together and be a nice little digital couple, huh? But yeah, everyone, thank you so much. I have been Chris Collected. I will be Chris Collected today, tomorrow, and yesterday, okay? I hope you really enjoyed watching today. I hope you check out all of my link trees, check out my stuff. If you haven't gone to Stimulus, please do that. I get $10 every time someone verifies with their ID. I'll get $10, and that's only going to work for the next like month or probably a couple weeks, because it was like $100,000 they were giving away, and we'll see what happens after that way with the referral code, because a lot of them ended up being bots and things that were like taking all the money. So we'll see what happens. They're trying to make an anti-bot as much as they can. So we'll see. But there is no adult content on that. Just note, there is no adult content allowed on Stimulus. So I will be promoting purely this stuff, not the adult stuff. Not that guy. This guy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to trust in yourself, honor yourself and others, and create a world that's safer for everyone. All right, guys? If you liked my voice, then I have a tip box Linktree/Chris Collected. The second one is a tip that goes straight to my PayPal. So that way I can kind of cut out the middleman of Buy Me a Coffee had a lot of like fees and stuff. So I ended up just cutting that completely. And so you can go to my, go straight to my PayPal and everything like that. That'll be awesome. Then you can help fund this. And about a week or so from now, I will be launching another one called Throne.me, which the idea is I could like have these headphones and be like, hey, give me $50 specifically for these headphones. It's kind of like an Amazon wish list, but not through Amazon because I hate Amazon. So it's like I try to avoid them as much as I can. I mean, they're unavoidable, right? But, we are in the corporate era, right? So it's like, but it's all right. We just, just blow it out, right? It's like you get stressed and just blow it out. Just go, you know what? I can't really do nothing about that. I'm just going to do what I can to make my life better, to make your life better, and keep on pushing forwards. That's what we're doing here. We're trying to improve ourselves, improve each other, because we are the house of improvements. And I'm Chris Collected. Thank you so much. I really, truly love my job. I love myself, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much for watching, listening, commenting, whatever it is. Thank you so much. Go to Stimulus on my Linktree, and you can have a chance to buy one of these for $25. Thank you so much. I will be back tomorrow playing some more Way of the Hunter, and Friday playing Way of the Hunter as well. And then Thursday will be the first rug. Enjoy. And I'm going to do them in, I'll give you a little hint. I'm going to do it based on Gotham Knights. So we're going to kind of mix my video games with my rugs and kind of combine those together. So thank you so much. I've been Chris Collected. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and a wonderful week.